The series that everyone's poo-pooing just a little bit, Trev. The markets are smaller. But guess what all these teams do is win and find a way. Chris Rose's Cleveland Guardians versus your Tampa Bay Rays as the Reds head to beautiful Cleveland this time of years. And by the way, sometimes we say that these teams don't have the box office names in a series. How about McClanahan Bieber to start it off? I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Arguably the best lefty in the game in Shane McClanahan versus Shane Bieber, who returned to form this year, 13-8 with a 2.88 ERA. Maybe some Glasnow McKenzie the next day. How's your hot boy? And then we'll see if we get to Game 3. The Guardians, they took the series 4-2 this year against Tampa, and they played last week, if you remember that. We'll see if there's any ripple effects. Cash and Francona go back. They have a prank war that they've been a part of the last decade or so. And these two teams that operate as New Age baseball, right? These are the thinking teams and the matchup teams, and you might not hear their names a lot in the offseason, and when they do, it's a small trade that you look back and you're like, oh yeah, Yandy Diaz has been a stud for the Rays for the past 5 years now, it feels like. Trevor, Rays Guardians off the rip. Where does your brain go first?
This has timely hitting written all over it. Who is going to hit with runners in scoring position? That's who's going to win this series. I wanted you to read the quote because I love this. I haven't seen it anywhere. I'm sure that a lot of people have. Francona was asked if he ever saw Cash as a future manager when he played for Francona, and he said, "I hoped because I didn't see much of a hitter." And I love that. I love the back and forth between these two guys. They are two of the better managers in all of baseball. And yes, am I contradicting myself because I say managers don't matter? A little bit. I think these guys matter. And I think Kevin Cash is still thinking about pulling Blake Snell. And I wonder if that's going to affect some of his decisions, in the future and this postseason. This is going to be some fun baseball, man. And I don't think it's like we should look at it as like a series of small market teams that no one cares about. I think that's complete bullshit, man. I think this is real baseball. We have some real talent on the field here. You talked about the guys that are going to be pitching for us. I mean, McClanahan and Bieber and Glasnow and McKenzie, that's about as good as you can get, man. Go ahead and check out those numbers. If you ever watch Glasnow pitch, it's like, whoa. And he's back looking really good too. So like I said, I think it's going to come down to timely hitting. I think both these teams, we know what the Guardians do. They're not going to slug you out of the park. They're going to get on base. They have a high contact rate, blah, blah, blah. They run the bases. I think Cleveland is going to be reliant on their pitching. It's very good. Score a few timely runs. If they can shut the Rays offense down, that's their path to victory. I don't think they're going to come here and score a bunch of runs, but it'll probably end up happening. They'll win 11-10, and everyone's going to say you're stupid, Trev. But I think these are going to be low-scoring games, and a stolen base here, a defensive miscue here, the extra base taken here is going to be the difference in this series.
The Rays, I think it deserves to be said. I think if we looked back on most injured teams this year, I think the Rays have a pretty good argument. They're going to be without Brandon Lau, who's been a big part of this Rays run. Kevin Kiermaier and Mike Zunino, my goodness. How's your up the middle? I mean, those three guys were all there. And a few pitchers, Nick Anderson, Boz, Fire Ison, Ryan Thompson, Colin Poche. I've seen all those guys pitch big innings for them. That being said, I mean, innings is never the problem for the Rays. I think the biggest thing you have to be worried about is their hitting. And they're coming into the playoffs cold, by the way. They have not been winning ball games. Their hittings, 25th in MLB in slugging. There's one guy you have to circle, Wander Franco. Been out most this season. He's been back. He's going to be in the lineup. Him, Randy, Yandy, Harold Ramirez at the top. I know a couple of those guys don't jump out as your mainstream guys, but Yandy put together a huge season. He's a little banged up. Harold Ramirez, when he's been in there, he's hit a lot. I wonder if the Rays are going to be able to hit enough. And I wonder if we will see if experience is a difference maker, because, hey, Randy Arozarena, we know what he looks like come October. Manny Margot has played in a lot of big games. G-Man Choi, even Jose Siri at the bottom of this lineup. Wander got a taste last year. You remember him hitting balls over that big monster in left field in Fenway? I'm wondering if we are going to walk away from this series saying that the postseason experience mattered. Or are we going to be saying, like, hey, I think this Guardians team is just better. Steven Kwan, I don't think it's just a blip. Some of the stuff he did for a rookie is insane. Jose Ramirez, we talk about him as a top player in the league. And then one of these young guys is going to pop between Naylor, Gonzalez, Jimenez, Owen Miller. Miles Straw has actually started going
so fast.
Athlete. A lot of athletes on that team. Bieber's been there, so we'll see what that looks like. I don't know, man. I mean, this series, I think if you played it 10 times, I know it sounds cop-out. I mean, I think you'd go 5-5, right?
I said Toronto and the Mariners is going to be the best baseball played. I'm going to tell you later on that the Padres and Mets is the most interesting series to me because the Mets 100-win season can be over by Saturday night, and that's crazy to me. This one right here is the series that I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm okay with saying that, dude, because it is, like I said, it's going to come down to a few big at-bats, a few big moments where both these teams know how to pitch and know how to match up on the pitching side. And it's like, okay, who's going to step up for these teams? If Jose Ramirez just goes off and puts the team on his back, we're going to say the Guardians are scary. If Jose Ramirez goes and just crushes this postseason, look out. Cash has a quote. We need more contact, and we need Randy to be Randy. If Randy Arozarena goes off and takes this series over and him and Wander are bashing it up, Bash Brothers and shit like that, then we're going to be talking about the Rays and how scary they can be because they've been there and they have the pitching matchups and all that. So you're going to ask me to tell you who I think is going to win, and it's just going to be a complete guess for me. And I think that means something. I love that I don't have a lean here because that means it's going to be a great series, dude.
I'm so interested. This Guardians team, not big expectations this year. They end up running away with the Central. They are the youngest team in baseball. I mean, talk about, we mentioned that the Mariners and Blue Jays think they're set up for the next 5 years. This Guardians team has to think they're set up for the next 5 years with how young their roster is. Man, the Rays, they've got a lot of guys. I mentioned experience in the lineup. Your boy Shags has pitched in playoff baseball. Pete Fairbanks has pitched in some big games, and he's looked really good lately. Brooks Riley came over from H-Town, Funky Town, city where the top drop. The bullpen looks a little more thin than in previous Rays years. No Nick Anderson, Fire Eyes, and Kittredge, Thompson, Poche, guys I mentioned. Which really makes the McClanahan start need to matter more. I mean, they have a couple guys. Watch out for Springs and Rasmussen. And we know that's the other thing that these Rays, they're not scared to make the move. You mentioned taking our guy Snell out, but we've also seen a guy like Drew Rasmussen, if they think they need his outs right now, the Rays won't think about Game 3 until there is a Game 3. They think about winning that game however they have to in that moment, which you wonder what Rays funny business do they have up their Springs. Will they send a Rasmussen out there after McClanahan to try to steal a Game 1? You know there's going to be something that makes you raise an eyebrow about the Rays, and will it matter at all? I don't know.
I've had Botox one time, people. I can still move. Look at that.
Yeah?
Anyways, I don't think this is a situation where we're going to have to say, are they going to save their pitching for Game 3? I could be wrong about that. Maybe that's what every single team that wins Game 1 is going to do. It doesn't seem to me like that's the situation here. So I think we're going to get these two matchups that we're talking about. Now, Glasnow, I don't know how long he's going to go. He's not built up to go 9 or anything like that. So they're going to have to figure that out. But that's what the Rays do. They don't care if they want him to go 4, maybe 5, and they'll figure it out. It's Yandy is a big factor here.
Yeah.
He started 2 games in September. Like he leads the Rays in OPS plus. Like, is he going to be back and be a force? Are we going to be talking about the Randy and Yandy show? I think whoever shows up I keep saying whoever shows up offensively in a timely manner is going to win this series. And when you're talking about a 3-game set, that's so fun to watch.
Bo Naylor got called up the other day. I wonder what's going on with the Naylor boys.
They freaking designated Shaw.
Yeah.
Like 2 days before
the
postseason. I wonder how that works. He's not on the 40-man anymore, so
he's out.
He's out.
Yeah, I mean,
that's tough, man.
I saw Rosie comment on it. It's one of those things. It's tough, but I think it felt like the right move. And by the way, I love my guy Fairbanks. He's gross. Manuel Class A. I think if he takes the mound twice in this series, that means the Guardians won. That guy is so good. Trev, the more and more
about this series.
What's that?
You know what I like about this series?
What do you like?
Is now I know they're playing at 9:00 Pacific, I believe, right? That's tough. But we're going to see some guys who we know as excellent ball players. We're going to see them on the national stage. So is Andres Jimenez going to finally get his due for the season he's had? Is he going to show up in the postseason and people are like, oh, shit, look what he did this year too? Those idiots at Talking Baseball gave Jose Altuve the All-JM Team award instead of him.
Yeah.
And now we're really mad at them. I like that aspect here because there are a bunch of really, really good ball players that aren't household names yet. And we're probably going to have to see a few of them step up if they want their teams to win. And that's how you become a name, man. That's how you come get some recognition and have people talking about you. Just do it in the postseason.
I think I know who I've got.
Did the bell ring yet?
Bell didn't ring.
No, we're ahead of schedule, and that's okay.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
I actually decided I want it to be this.
Baseball!
Okay. Trevor, as I look up and down the rosters, I've got to believe in something. I think this team is more talented. I'm going with the Cleveland Guardians. At home, I know the Rays have been there and done that. Rays fans have been mad at me because before the year I said I didn't think this was the year for the Rays, and then a lot of them chirped at me for finishing 3rd in the East. I believe in this Guardians talent, man. I believe Kwan can be a problem in a playoff series. Jose Ramirez is the best player in this series. He is. Rosario's put together a year. Something of Naylor, Jimenez, Oscar Gonzalez has to click. And then Bieber and Tristan McKenzie. I know we touched upon them briefly, but those are bad dudes this year, man. Those are bad men that you do not want to see on the bump. And sneakily, I think I might even like the Guardians bullpen better. So experience I give to the Rays, and just a little bit of magic, if that was a column. Experience and magic I would give to the Rays. But everywhere else on the field, I think I like this Guardians team. I love their energy. I love that they're kids with Francona. That's fun. In Cleveland, give me the Guardians.
I disagree with you on the Magic front. I believe the Guardians lead that category. Okay. So on the Magic side, I'll side with you there. And in the series, I'm picking the Guardians, man.
Okay.
And you know what? We always say, oh, the Rays will make that decision will haunt you because the Rays are going to figure out a way. I'm not sure they will, man. That offense is not what it needs to be right now. We're relying on a guy that played 2 games in September to come back and be himself. Like, Randy's got to pick it up. We keep saying, all these guys got to pick it up. All these guys got to pick it up. You know what the Guardians have to do? Be themselves. Do what they've been doing all year long. So, I mean, we're going to need good starts by Bieber and McKenzie. But I believe I mean, they've looked good all year. I think we're going to get at the very least, decent starts out of both of these guys against this Rays lineup. I think the Guardians sweep this thing. I think they win it 2 games to none.
It sounds so dumb, but if they win the McClanahan game, it's over. No, I don't want to be shots fired at the Rays just like that, but I mean, the Shane game, and even if they don't, I think this Guardians team is young and crazy enough that they should be all right. We'll see. Knowing the Rays, they'll just shove it down our throat. And by the way, we will be live streaming. I will be there. A bunch of other JM people will be hopping in. Joe's, Jolly Olive. We got ice. Paxton, Canobio. Everyone's going to be popping in the live stream lounge. I think we're doing.
Canobio's everywhere. Why is the Canobio everywhere?
He's everywhere.
Go to a boxing match, bro.
Canobio's funny, man.
I like him. Hey, put my picture up there. I want to feel like I'm there.
Okay, we'll get a Trevor Plouffe cutout. Fuck its face. So join us on the live streams on the Talkin Baseball channel.